I've been shooting photos for over 15 years now and portraits for over 10. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, successes and failures, and in this video, I'm gonna try and summarize the most important things I learned during that time. Hi everyone, this is Ernesto with Aftershoot. I'm a Peruvian photographer based in Miami and have been shooting portraits and events here in Florida for the last 4 years. But it wasn't all rainbows and butterflies in the beginning. When I first started in photography over 15 years ago, I mostly shot landscapes. It just gave me an excuse to move around and travel, and since I wasn't doing photography for work back then, I could afford to spend a weekend or two away from home just shooting away. But as we all know, landscapes don't move, so it was a whole different ballpark when I started shooting portraits. My first issue had to do with lighting. I just had no clear idea how to work with light. And in my case, I made a small studio at my apartment, I bought some flashes, and as you can see, I was all over the place. I wouldn't call these photos horrendous, but they certainly weren't good. The good thing is I was just inviting friends over and testing things out with them. So for the first few months, I did photography for free. And that's something I think could benefit anyone. Just shooting is a great way to learn. It also gives you the freedom to make mistakes and not get burnt in the process. So whether it is a sibling, your partner, or just a friend, go out and have as many photo shoots as you can. The only way to get better at something is to actually do that something as many times as you can. As you can see, my first photos were exactly perfect, but if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I have this image of my father in my head, probably during some car ride, and it plays over and over because that day he gave me what was probably the best advice anyone has ever given me. You see, when you're lost doing something, it's very easy to complicate things even more, simply because you have no idea what you should or you shouldn't do. So you start adding things and growing the issue, just hoping the answer will eventually appear somewhere along the way, and it just doesn't. Well, that's when you have to apply the KISS method. That's right, my dad taught it to me with 2 S's. Keep it simple, stupid. Forget about the flashes, lenses, tripods, stands, props, etc. When you're starting out, the simpler, the better. When you have less things to control, you have less things that can go wrong. It's simple math. You can't start at the top. You have to crawl, stand, walk, and then run. If you overcomplicate things from day one, you're probably gonna be stuck there for a long time, so KISS. Now here's a good one. Even after doing photography for over 15 years, I still find myself watching tutorials, reading about different techniques, and trying new things out. You should never lose the hunger for knowledge you had in the beginning. Some people just stop learning the moment they start earning. They think, I'm already getting paid, so why bother? Well, they're not entirely wrong. The problem is, when you lose that passion to learn and photography becomes just something you do to put food on the table, then you can easily start disliking it. Chances are, if you're a photographer, you probably started because you were passionate about this. There's a lot of jobs people do just because they need to do them. Usually photographers shoot photos because they want to shoot them. The moment you become a photographer who has to shoot, you've entered the dawn of your career. So a good way to avoid this is to always be researching and learning. New things tend to keep you excited and engaged. It could be lighting techniques, different ways to frame, editing styles, I don't know. It really doesn't matter as long as you never stop learning. Something else I've learned is you can never ask too many questions. The more questions you have answered right now, the less issues you're gonna encounter later. Let me explain. Photography is art, but it's also a business. Clients are paying money to get a product, and in this case, they can't see the actual product until everything is done. So to avoid any unpleasant surprises, I like to ask as many questions as I can before I start shooting. What is it people want? References of what they need, amount of images they expect, locations they prefer. I like to have as much information as I can so that nobody can later surprise me with something they wanted that I didn't do. If you get hired for a portrait photo shoot and just leave it there, no questions asked, you could be setting yourself up for failure. Even if you think you know what they want, have them actually say it to you so that everyone is on the same page. I mean, I understand them. Photo shoots are not cheap. People don't just throw money around all day, you know? So in order to avoid any issues or misunderstandings, ask questions. A lot of them. And finally, I've learned it is very important to know how to read images. There's a lot of good content out there, more than ever before, but that's of no good to us if we don't know how to read an image. It's important to understand how photos got lit up, how the photographer framed them, why they frame the way they do, what elements they want us to see. Each image is a world of its own, and the best thing we can do is to admire and learn from them. If you're just scrolling down social media and find a photo that you like, it is important to understand why you like it. Not only to understand yourself, but also because you could emulate those things you like in your next photo shoot. Now, I'm not saying go copy a photo you found online, not at all, but you can add some elements from this photo and some elements from another photo, plus some personal preferences, and then the result could surprise you. But in order to get there, you have to be able to read images. So there, next time you're doom scrolling, pay attention and actually read the images you see. So there you go, those are just some things I've learned during my career as a photographer. I hope you can get something out of this video and that you can immediately start applying that to your day-to-day as a photographer. As always, don't forget to follow Aftershoot in all of our social media to be always up to date with all the new things we have for you. See you guys in the next one. Bye.